every day we get questions about what will happen when students return to school, and if that's at the end of summer or later in the year, or even possibly in 2021. A task force is developing a plan for students to safely return to school buildings. Today, Way 31's Breken Terry talked to a few parents about their biggest concerns. Breken.
The parents I spoke with told me their fears and worries come from the unknown. Like, for instance, will they send their kids to school like normal only to have their semesters disrupted, or will distance learning be an option this fall semester? Right now, there are no answers to those questions.
We don't have any additional help. So we've got to hire sitters and that sort of thing to kind of help take care of the boys. And my first instinct is to say, oh my gosh, they have to go back.
When Melissa Jacobs and her husband leave home for work, they're forced to find help for their 6- and 8-year-old children in the Florence City school system.
I'm not as good as teaching them at home, and they're going to get a better education, honestly, if they're on a better schedule and going to school.
Jacobs said she is a bit worried about sending her kids back to school in the fall because of the coronavirus. But trying to keep a small business afloat and helping her kids with in-home schooling is a lot.
It creates a lot of anxiety, and it almost feels impossible because you don't really feel like you're doing anything well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's so many balls in the air that you're trying not to let any of them fall, but you're not sure if you're doing any of those things well.
Katie Terry, who has elementary and pre-K aged kids, told me if she had the option of continuing the distance learning in the fall, she'd do that.
If there is a possibility, especially with young ones may being asymptomatic and sending them to school and then getting the teachers ill, like, I just wouldn't want to put them at risk. So it's just not really, I think we really need to get more measures of prevention and treatment and have those questions answered by our medical community before we send people out and trying to get life back to normal.
Both moms agree the tricky part is for schools to find solutions that work for everyone, even though different families face different situations.
You want them to continue with their academics. You don't want them to fall behind. So it gives you, like I said, it kind of creates a lot of anxiety to make sure your kids stay on track. But then I also have to think I'm not the only one feeling this way.
Now, the recommendations gathered by this task force are expected to be wrapped up by the end of April, but there is no timeline for an official plan to restart schools next year. Live in Florence, Breken Terry, Way 31 News.
Thank you.